I'm doing great, man. I'm just, it's just finally the weekend. So that's I'm pretty excited about that. So,
I get it. I get it. We got to celebrate those little wins everywhere we can. Okay. For those at home, we're going to speak tonight to Mr. John Logan Parsons. He's got a new project out called Immerser and a song, Transmute. Welcome.
hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'd like to hear a little bit about the song, Transmute. The single just came out. Well, it's been out a little bit, but yeah. Tell me about the song itself.
Okay, well, Transmute is an awesome song. I love it. It's getting a really, really good response, which I'm excited about. I actually had the chance to record this song with the producer Kane Churko, who's just an amazing, amazing guy, super talented. And I'm really blessed that I had that opportunity. It's a little tiny bit of a departure from some of my other stuff musically. But it's still got the kind of, darkness but with an undercurrent of optimism. And, I tried to kind of create like an esoteric anthem. You know what I mean? The word transmute means to change. It's an alchemical term. And, the song's about that. It's about change. It's about taking a negative and turning it into a positive. So hopefully that'll impact people in a positive way. So I'm really excited, man. So
I can tell your energy on this song.
absolutely.
To put out a single today is becoming more common in that there are a lot of bands out there that have taken the singles approach rather than going through the expense of doing the full album and just rushing it all out there. Today, many bands are taking the onesie twosie approach and trying to do a serial release. Is this the same approach you're taking?
Yeah, it's the last couple years, the last, I'd say 3 years, I've kind of turned towards singles. I released 2 EPs in the last 2 years too. That's kind of to me, I look at that as almost like a rationalized album, because it is expensive. But I come from, the school of releasing albums, and, I've done probably 7 or 8 full length albums, and yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a weird transition, but I'm starting to like it. Like, I like the whole idea. Like, it's kind of nice to it's less pressure. The turnaround is quicker, so you can put out material faster. And also, for me as an artist, it makes it a little more exciting for me too, because I could come out with a hard rock single, and then a few months later release something that's a little even heavier or poppier or kind of whatever I want. Because with an album, there's kind of an expectation of consistent sort of sound throughout. So I'm digging it, man. I kind of like this.
Yeah, throughout the years, decades, you hear the stories of the artists that put out records and they felt that certain songs on these albums just sort of were missed by the public. And the singles approach certainly gives you an opportunity to focus the attention of the public into your music.
Right. Yeah. It also, on the other end of that, not just as a listener, but as a performer or an artist, it really causes you to focus on, hey, is this the best song? You know what I mean? Like, on an album, you can put out, a few good songs, and you can kind of have some filler if you want, but this way, you really gotta, hone in on, this is a single, right? So it's got to be good. So
you mentioned your producer, Kane Churko. How did you two come into connection?
We came into connection sort of is through mutual friends and stuff like that. He, there was a band that I really like called In This Moment, and their stuff just sounds incredible. It's got a really, really punchy sound, and I really liked it. And I kind of researched who was behind that, and I, came across this name Kane Churko, and I looked him up on Facebook, and we were already connected. So I just took a leap of faith, and it worked out, man. Everything's good.
Talk a little bit about the significance of having that extra ear involved in the project. I mean, I know you did everything on this up to the point of recording, and just discuss a moment that extra ear, that wall to bounce the ball off of and get feedback on the production.
Well, it the whole idea of having a producer is new to me. You know what I mean? Like I never wanted to go that route. I've been doing this for 3 decades, and everything I've recorded, I've always been like at the helm, totally in control, and which is great. But you know, I'm ready for something different. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the challenge. You know, opening myself up to suggestion and you know, just trying something different. And man, did I get what I asked for. It was, you know, I had to really like, you know, I just let it go and didn't have any, you know, real attachment to the outcome. And it was a good experience for me as an artist, you know what I mean? And I think the end result is great because, you know, having that other person, you know, some producers, really talented producers like Kane, they kind of take what you give them and they find the best pieces of that and they kind of focus the attention on that, right? And I just, you know, it was a blast, man. I had a great time, and it's something I'm really looking forward to doing again. So
Yeah, can we expect him to be working on any of your future projects?
I would hope so. We'll see. I have a good feeling about it, but we'll see.
So this is kind of a contrast question. I'm going to ask you to contrast this song itself with some of your past work. Where do you feel the evolution has occurred for you?
Well, let's see. I feel like it's more focused. The music itself is just more focused. You know, it's not, you know, there's, as an artist, there's things that I might want to put in a song because I find it interesting, whereas the listener maybe not. You know what I mean? So this is like cutting out all the fat, you know, making it just it's more commercially viable too, I would say. You know, some of my earlier stuff, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's very good, and but it I don't know, this just feels more relevant. Coming from my background is, you know, playing a lot and recording and releasing in the 90s and a lot of the grunge stuff and heavy metal and stuff. You know, times have changed, you know, and I feel like this was a really great way to have like a kind of a refresh, right?
Sure.
So it's different. I mean, it's not terribly different. I mean, if you listen to some of my other stuff, and you know, it's still me. It's just, I think, a clearer version of what I'm trying to get across to the listener, I guess. You know, I don't know how to answer that, man.
Did you have a destination in mind when you started writing this song, or these groups of songs actually? But did you have a destination in mind, or is this just something that happens for you?
It's something that happens. Like I don't have like a set goal with songwriting. It just kind of comes when it comes, and I kind of feel like a conduit more than, you know, I just feel like, hey, oh God, it's time to write a song. You know, I got this idea or this emotion or whatever, and it just kind of comes through me. So I don't really have like a, you know, I think maybe more so now than ever. I think it'd be kind of a challenge to sit down and just be like, okay, I'm going to write this type of song. You know, I've never done that. And it might be kind of fun, you know, or maddening. I don't know.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a multi-instrumentalist, when you sit down or when you decide you want to write a song, where do you start? Do you just grab a guitar, or?
Typically, yeah, like I'll usually reach for an acoustic guitar. And it usually starts with a chord progression or a guitar melody or something. Sometimes it's weird. Like I was saying, you know, sometimes I feel like a conduit, like, you know, it'll come from other places. I might have a dream where I have a melody and I'm like, oh God, that's an amazing melody. You know, and I wake up and like somebody else had to have, it's got to be coming from somewhere, and it's not, you know, and hey, that's cool. But yeah, it starts on the guitar. And then usually once I have kind of the verse, chorus, bridge sort of thing worked out, I'll take it and record, you know, drums, bass, you know, and then I'll do a little demo of it. And then I just listen to it like a million times in my car, you know, until I kind of, you know, and I'll hum along with it or I'll sing. And that way I can sing really loud and obnoxiously and make all kinds of weird mistakes and nobody knows. But yeah, so in my car, I'll just kind of, you know, work on it until I find a melody or a vocal melody I like. And then from there, I just start writing lyrics, man. And then, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, let the magic happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So have you tried writing from a different perspective in such as you pick up a bass guitar, maybe even at the drums? I don't know if I've heard of somebody writing from the drums, but I don't doubt that it's possible. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've definitely done that in my life. I've written stuff on the bass and then come up with something cool and then, build around that. Drums, not as much, although I have done that. And, usually in a band setting, like, I've been in bands as well, not just a solo artist, but in the past I've been in many bands. And usually, when we're just jamming, coming up with ideas, it usually starts with the drums. Like I'll always tell ask the drummer, hey, let's hear a beat, and what you got. And then from there, you kind of find something. So yeah, rhythm is hugely important. And, but I don't typically sit down and write out a drum beat and then build on that. It's kind of the opposite, kind of what does
Certainly.
this song need rhythmically, right?
Certainly. So with the release of all this new material, with release of new material, any thoughts on performance?
I at this point I'm not really focusing on that, being that it's a solo project, it'd be kind of difficult to do. I'm sure if I ran around fast enough, I might be able to pull it off, but
Yeah, you get that band together though. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that would be ideally, I'd have to find the right people to do that with. But I'm not ruling it out. It's just at this time, I'm just really enjoying writing and releasing stuff. And, I'm also really open and looking forward to maybe doing some collaborations and stuff. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I know you've got a broad spectrum of work between your music, and I know that you've got a few books out and so on. Is there any thoughts of like combining it all or building together the different aspects of your artistic output?
I've never really thought about that. I've done something where it was like I mostly did it for myself, but like I took all the lyrics from a prior band called Deluge I was in for a long time, and put out like a lyric book with all the lyrics and really cool artwork that I did related to the band and because I did all the cover art for that band too. So I kind of put together like a little book for that, but that was mostly for me. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard now because I mean, in the past you would get a physical, and you'd go to the store, you'd buy a CD or you'd get an LP. You could have that. You could have the music and you could read through it, and you know what I mean. Like, so it's a little different now. But I think that it does I do sort of do that because I'm kind of authoring a song, right? But it's more than a song because it's sort of a story. You're leaving it's like a signpost. You're putting a sort of an experience frozen in time out there, and that's kind of what songwriting is. You're just capturing lightning in a bottle, and it's there forever. Like it's cool. Like you can just have any emotion you want just frozen in time that anybody can tap into at any point. Like, I mean, think about it. You can listen to Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven, right? Written a long time ago, and it can still hit you, man. And you feel what he was feeling when he wrote that. And that's really cool. So in a way it is maybe like a book,
Yeah, in many ways. Yeah. That's all the questions I have for you today. Is there anything I missed or anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, this has been great. Just awesome. And I see you've got some guitars in the background there. I can see in your video.
Lurking in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a Charvel?
It's an old Charvel bass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's the red one? I can't tell what that is.
It's a Travis Bean. It's an unusual guitar, an aluminum guitar.